Hello, welcome to Six Figure Consulting. This is Dr. Vanessa R. Brooks. I am a leadership scientist and the CEO of Brooks Consulting and Training Solutions, and I help expertise turn their intellectual capital into consulting businesses. And so today I want us to talk about things that don't really get talked about a whole lot in this industry. I want to talk today specifically about how to determine whether your expertise can become a real consulting opportunity. So if you are someone that is interested in either launching or scaling your consulting company and you find yourself stuck, you're not really sure if your ideas can be turned into consulting, this is the broadcast that you want to tune into. If you are here, please come on in and say hello, introduce yourself to me. I would love to get to know you more. Tell me where you are watching from. And if you have started your consulting company, tell me about what it is you do. If you're thinking about starting your consulting company, tell me what your thoughts are, okay? I want to know what it is you are thinking about building in 2026. One of the things that people tend to do is they get stuck focusing on the wrong things, especially in those early stages of building their consulting companies. And so what I see people do is focusing on things like their website and their logos and trying to create content on social media. But I want to tell you the first place that you should start with building your consulting company or even scaling your consulting company, you must start with your intellectual capital, okay? And you must start with your problem solving expertise, okay? If you can get clear on your intellectual capital and how your intellectual capital becomes a problem solver, okay, you are on your way to having a powerful and profitable consulting company. So today I want to break down what consultant actually is. I want to talk about why so many capable women who should be consulting have not started consulting yet. And I want to address the three questions I get the most about consulting, okay? And why people tend to never start selling their consulting services. So let's get into it. So let's start off with, and I do have a note, y'all, because I got ADHD and I'll get sidetracked, so my notes keep me focused. Okay, so if I look away, it's because I'm checking my notes. So let's start off talking about what consulting is. Okay, I think it's really important for us to understand what consulting is, so we can get clarity in our own mind. Because when people think about consultants, oftentimes they think about people sitting on Wall Street somewhere, in a high-rise luxury building. And a lot of people don't see themselves as consultants because of the visual imagery you have in your mind about what a consultant is. So let's start off with a really just a practical understanding of what consultant is, so that you have clarity on that and that you're not misunderstanding what this is, okay? So first of all, consultants do give advice, but consultants do way more than give advice. Now, in my business, Brooks Consulting, I train women every single day on how to be high-level professional consultants. And I do that by helping them understand, again, about what their intellectual capital is. But the first thing that they have to do is take a diagnostic, okay? And the diagnostic, I'm able to show them where their leadership and performance gaps are. But if you are starting a consulting company, the first thing that you should be doing as well is you should have some type of diagnostic process, okay? You should have a way to diagnose problems, because if you don't have a diagnostic, then you're just going to be, one, wasting a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on with your client. And two, you're going to have to start from scratch every time you get a new client. So every good consultant needs to have a diagnostic, okay? Because before you can ever give advice, before you can recommend solutions, you have to be able to assess what's actually going on with your client. And that's whether you're working with an organization or a Fortune 500 company, or whether you're working with a solopreneur or a small business, or even working with individual consumers. You need to be able to diagnose what is going on with your client, okay? You have to be able to correctly assess them so that you can create solutions for their specific problem, okay? So that's really important. So every good consultant needs to have a diagnostic approach. So I'm going to ask you, okay, if you're catching this live or if you catch this somewhere on the replay, let me know in the comment section, do you have a diagnostic approach? Okay. Do you have a diagnostic approach? If you don't, you need one. Okay. It's going to level your business up. Okay. Having a diagnostic approach is a way that you can make a lot of money. Listen, there are some consultants who only do diagnostics. There are organizations that will pay a consultant to just do the diagnostic alone without having any without solving any of the problems. There are consultants who all they do is go into organizations and they do the diagnostic. Okay, so as a consultant, you should have a high quality diagnostic approach. I have one. I have several. I have a diagnostic that I use for my solopreneurs, for those women who are starting their consulting companies, but I also have diagnostics for organizations that I work with. Okay, so you need to have your own diagnostic approach. Now, in your diagnostic, you should be looking at least 4 core things. Okay, if you got a pen, you need to be taking notes. Okay, with your diagnostic approach, with your diagnostic tool, okay, because I use software to build my diagnostics. But as a consultant who has a diagnostic approach, you should be looking at 4 core things. Number 1, the symptoms of the problem. Okay, just like a doctor, when you go to your doctor, you tell your doctor what your symptoms are. The doctor doesn't write you a prescription without knowing what your symptoms are. So as a diagnostician, because that's what you are as a consultant, you need to be looking at the symptoms that the organization is having, or that the solopreneur is having, or that the small business is having. Okay, what are their symptoms? You need to get clear on what the symptoms are. Okay, and the diagnostic allows you to do that. Number 2, okay, you should be looking at the patterns inside the business or the organization or the small business or the solopreneur. Again, with my clients who come to me and they want me to help them build their consulting companies, I give them a diagnostic first. And my diagnostic measures their leadership patterns and their business patterns and their performance patterns. Okay. And then I'm able to get that data, collect that data once they do the assessment. And then me and my team are able to analyze that data, and I'm able to create a customized report and give it to that woman and say, hey, let's look at your leadership patterns and your behavior patterns and your business patterns before we even try to build your consulting company. Okay. That is how you get the most out of the diagnostic. Okay. This is how you provide high level, high quality consulting. And this is how you're going to be able to charge $5, $10, $15, $20,000 for your programs, because you have this diagnostic process in place. The third thing that we should be looking at as consultants when we're having our diagnostic approach is the systems that are producing the problems. Okay. Whether you're working with organizations or small businesses or solopreneurs, they have problems. Okay. That's why they're reaching out to you. They have a specific problem that they're dealing with. Okay. But guess what? Those problems did not create themselves. Is this helping anybody? The problems that the organization is having, the problem that the small business owner is having, or the problem that the solopreneur is having, they didn't just come out of the sky. Something created those problems. Okay. I call that something systems. Okay. So I diagnose systems. Okay. So I'm looking at what kind of systems do you have in place in your organization? Or if I'm working with a small business owner, I'm asking the small business owner, what kind of systems do you have in place? If I'm working with a solopreneur, I'm still going to ask her, what kind of systems do you have in place? I need to take a look at your systems. Okay. What are your processes? What are your protocols? What policies do you have in place? What are your standard operating procedures? All of that is going to give you some valuable data. Okay. Again, if you have these things in place, you're going to be able to build very expensive consulting programs. Okay. You're going to be able to charge high end consulting rates if you have a diagnostic approach in place. Okay. So that's really important. All right. So for me personally, I approach consulting from a scientific perspective. Okay. I have a doctorate degree in executive leadership, and I learned through that doctoral process the importance of scientific data. Okay. So I teach my clients to do the exact same thing. I show them how to build a diagnostic that they can use in their consulting programs as well. Okay. again, it's you should not be jumping to solutions when you're trying to help your clients. And this is why a lot of women who are trying to build their consulting companies, one of the reasons they get stuck and they have a hard time charging a certain price or charging the right price is because they don't have a system in place. They don't have structure. They don't have frameworks in place. They don't have methodologies in place. Okay. There's no structure to their consulting company. So the first thing that you need to have in place is a diagnostic. Okay. Again, doctors do the same thing. When you go to a doctor, he doesn't just write your prescription. He doesn't just tell you that he's going to do surgery on you. No, he's going to evaluate your symptoms. He's going to look at, your history, your medical history. Okay. He's collecting data. You as a consultant should do the exact same thing in your consulting business. Okay. You should be running the diagnostics. You should be assessing the diagnostics, and you should be evaluating the data that you receive back from the diagnostic. Okay. That's really, really important. That is your job as a consultant. All right. It's really important that you do not confuse coaching with consulting. Okay. Coaching and consulting are two different things. Coaches are there to provide support and guidance, asking a lot of questions, just supporting you on your goals and helping you set your goals. No. With consulting, we are there to diagnose, to run the diagnostic, to assess the situation, to evaluate the situation, and then to create customized solutions. Okay, that's the whole goal of consulting. Your job as a consultant is to provide customized solutions. Okay, in other words, the organization you're working with or the client you're working with should not be able to Google the solutions that you have created. I'm gonna say it again. If you're providing customized solutions for your client should not be able to find your solutions on the internet. Okay. Your solutions should be customized, and they will be customizable if you have a diagnostic process in place. Okay. So when people are looking for consultants, okay, they're not just, again, looking to buy information. They can Google information. When people hire consultants, it's because they're trying to buy clarity. Clarity is so important. Your job as a consultant is to give your client clarity. Okay. Your client is confused. Okay. They got a lot going on. They have a lot of problems going on. They got fires that they're trying to put out. They are all over the place. They are mentally exhausted. They have decision fatigue. Okay, they don't want to do any more research. They're looking for somebody who can bring them clarity. So it is your job as a consultant to get a really good understanding of the problem that your client is having so that you can provide that clarity for them. People will pay you a lot of money to provide clarity. Hope you're listening to me, y'all. As a consultant, again, you can go into an organization, a small business, and even a solopreneur, and they will pay you $10, $15, $20, $30, $40,000 if you can provide that clarity for them. All right. The second reason why people hire consultants is because they're looking to have the time collapsed. Okay. They want you to do it for them because you should be able to do it quicker for them. Your job as a consultant is to show that you have the frameworks, the methodology, and the program in place to collapse the amount of time it's going to take to solve the problem. In other words, your job is to show your client, hey, if you do this on your own, it's going to take you 12 months or 2 years to finish this, to get the results that you want. If you hire me, I can get those same results for you in 3 months or 6 months. You see the difference there? And if you have your diagnostic in place, and if you have customized solutions in place, you're going to be able to get those results quicker than if they try to do it on their own. All right. So that is your job as a consultant. Your job is to collapse time and to give your clients clarity. Okay. As a consultant, your job is to shorten the distance between the problem that your client is having and the solution that they're looking for. Okay. Because by the time they come to you, they've already spent years possibly studying the problems that they're having and the patterns that they're experiencing, but they have not been able to figure out how to solve that problem. And oftentimes that is because, again, they have experienced a level of burnout. When you're the one having the problem, you can't see the blind spots. Okay. You're so frustrated you're so absorbed in the problem, you really can't think straight about how to find a solution. You as a consultant, you're coming in, okay, from the outside. You don't have the pain points. You're not sold into the problems that the organization is having. So you're able to bring that fresh perspective. And that is why organizations, solopreneurs, and small businesses are willing to pay you to do that. Okay. So you have an opportunity here to make a lot of money as a consultant. The problem is people don't want to take the time to do the front facing or the back facing work, the back end work first. You got to get your back end set up. Okay. You got to make sure that you have a solid consulting offer. Okay. You got to know what it is you sell, who you're selling it to, what problem it solves. And then you'll be able to know how much to charge for that. Okay. Now let's talk about why most professionals never start consulting. Okay. I started this platform because I really want to help expert women, professional women use their intellectual capital, use their experience and their knowledge, their expertise to start a consulting company. No, you don't need a license to be a consultant, The Realist, if you're still there. Thank you for that question. You do not need a license. One of the things that I talk about every Saturday when I do the Lead Like a CEO live event, if y'all have not registered for that, is this coming Saturday, by the way. You don't need a license. What I'm trying to get women to do is to stop thinking that they need more credentials. I talk about this a lot. Again, I think you missed the beginning, so I'm going to back up for a minute, The Realist. What you need to start consulting is your own intellectual capital structured into an offer. So tell me in the chat if you feel comfortable some of what your intellectual capital is. And by that, I mean your experience. What is it that you're good at doing? All right. What have you been doing in your 9 to 5? All right. What are your credentials? Do you have any degrees? Do you have certifications? Have you taken classes, courses? How do you solve problems? What have you overcome in your life? All right. Spiritual advice. So then you could become a spiritual consultant. Okay. All right. So there are people, respiratory therapists. Listen. Okay. There are people that will pay you for that. Okay. Now, all you got to do is figure out how to translate that into solving a specific problem. Okay. That's all you got to do. Now, not trying to sell you on anything, but my team and I have been working hard to create software to help y'all with this. Because one of the things that happens when I work with clients all around this country, what I've been hearing for the 14 years I've been doing this work, is they're burnt out, they're tired. It's hard for them to think through it. It's 3 things that you need to get clear on first. Okay, these are not the only 3, but these are the top 3. Okay, you need to know if you have a solid consulting opportunity. Write that down. Do I have a solid consulting opportunity? All right. Number 2, you need to get clear on who will pay me for this consulting. Who will pay me? Who is the person? Who is the small business owner or the solopreneur or the organization? Who is the person that will pay me? Good afternoon. Who is the organization that will pay me for this consulting opportunity? And number 3, how much do I charge for this consulting work? Those are the top 3 things that you need to figure out right now. Now, there's more, but those are the first 3 areas that I want people to get clear on. Let me ask y'all a question. If I could help you figure that out, if I created software to walk you through those 3 steps and it only cost you $27, would you invest in that? Somebody type yes or no in the comment section. Okay. What if I told you that I've created software system, all right, that you just put your information into that software. You got to use your own information now, okay, because it's only going to give you back what you give it. But what if I told you there's software that I've built, my team and I built, that if you put your information in there, it's going to ask you some questions. You just answer the questions and it gives you back whether you have a viable consulting opportunity, the exact person that you should be trying to sell that consulting to, and how much to price for it. Would you go buy it? I need you to go get it. I need y'all to go get it. It's $27. Matter of fact, let me make sure that I put it on my link tree today. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure that it's on my link tree. I'm so excited about it. Now, like I said, it's your first step. It's your first step, right? Because the reason why people don't start their consulting companies is because they're focusing on the wrong thing and they just don't have clarity yet. They just don't have the clarity yet. And so I built something that's going to give you the clarity so that you know where to start. If you can get those first 3 areas figured out, then you can go to the next step, which is how to create your actual offer to sell them. But before you even worry about an offer, you need to figure out, do I even have a consulting opportunity with what I know how to do? And my software is going to help you work through that and help you figure out where there's a market, because you need to know if there's a consulting market for what it is you want to do. How long will you have access to the software after purchasing? Lifetime. Lifetime. And the beautiful thing is you can go back and do it again. What I love about it is that you get to run it multiple times, because we're trying to get clarity. And sometimes we have to, you might think about it overnight and get another idea. You can get to go back to the software. You get to run it over again multiple times. So once you purchase it, you have access to it. The only way that you lose access to it is if the software, God forbid, was to crash or something. But no, you have access to it for life. And I did just add that link to my bio. If you want to go to my bio when this is over with and go grab it, that would be great. I want you to really start working on it. But one of the reasons why, or there's several reasons why people just kind of get stuck, and it breaks my heart, because y'all, let me tell you, I've been running my business full time as a consultant for 14 years. And the first 8 years, I was just wasting so much time, losing so much energy, so burnt out, because I did not know how to figure this out. And so after all these years of doing this full time, I just want to provide the tools to you all that I wish I had all those years ago, so that you all don't have to waste 8 years trying to figure it out like I did, so that you can go ahead and start not only making money, but helping to solve people's problems and making people's lives better. So again, what I think is so fascinating is that, y'all, there are millions of professional women. I like to work with women, but I help men too, who are just brilliant. And you already have consulting level expertise. Okay. You don't realize it because you're not really sure what consulting is. Okay. But you've been spending years solving problems for other companies, for all the jobs that you've had. You've been solving their problems for them. Somebody say yes, yes. Okay. Teachers, HR professionals, healthcare professionals, managers, right? Social workers, therapists, ministers even. Oh my God. Okay. You already have real expertise. Maybe you like to cook. Okay. Maybe you are good at like fixing things with your hands. You have to understand that you have knowledge that other people don't have. Okay. You have knowledge that other people don't have. The problem is it goes into the unconscious part of the mind. And in psychology, we call that unconscious competence. So you have competencies. You've just been doing it for so long. You've taken it for granted, and you don't realize that your competence is worth thousands of dollars. Okay, I need somebody to type in the chat, thousands of dollars. Okay, so again, let me go and just repeat. There's 3 questions that every new consultant needs to answer. Okay, somebody type in the chat 3. Okay, there's 3 questions. Before anybody builds a consulting business, there are 3 questions that you need to get clear on. Okay, this is why people get trapped and get stuck. Okay, you need to answer 3 questions first. Okay, because if you cannot answer these questions, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to keep looping, wasting a lot of time and not making the money that you should be making. Number 1, again, is there a real consulting opportunity here? That's what you need to figure out. Okay, is this a real problem that people are actively trying to solve? Okay, so type in the chat, consulting opportunity. Are there people right now actively seeking to solve a problem that you can help them with. Okay? Because consulting opportunities exist wherever there is a persistent problem. Okay? So, for example, with the realist, when she says spiritual advisor, what that software is going to do is help you get really clear on what problem does spiritual advising solve. Oh, see how different that sounds? It's one thing to say I'm a spiritual advisor. What you have to get clear on is what problem are people having in the area of spirituality that they need help with? Deliverance ministry, okay. All right. So is there a consulting opportunity? Is there a persistent problem that people are trying to get help with? All right. So if you were to get the diagnostic tool or the software, you would put that into the system. Okay. So you got to figure out, is there a persistent problem that people are actively seeking help for? Okay. Number two. All right. Number two. So that's the first question we got to figure out as a consultant. What is the persistent problem that people are actively seeking help for right now? Okay. And my software is going to let you know if people are actively seeking for that. Okay. The next thing, the second question, somebody type in the chat, number two. Okay. Who exactly needs this expertise? Okay. Who exactly needs this expertise? I promise you, this is going to set you up for consulting success. Who needs the expertise? Once you can identify the opportunity, the next question becomes, who is the client? All right. Hey, Shelly, somebody type in the chat, who is the client? This is so important. Okay. This is the mistake that people make when they're trying to build their consulting companies. You got to figure out, who is it that needs your expertise? Because everybody doesn't need it. And even if they need it, everybody doesn't want it. Everybody's not going to be willing to pay for it. So who is the client? Okay. $27. Y'all can go grab my software system. Okay. It's going to help you with all of this. Okay. I'm so excited about it. Okay. So your consultant clients might be organizations. They might be small businesses. They might be solopreneurs. They might be individual consumers. But you need to know who is the client. Okay. The key is knowing exactly who experiences the problem that you want to solve. Who is experiencing the problem? So if I go back to the realist who wants to do spiritual consulting, and the problem that she wants to solve is deliverance ministry, the next question that she has to figure out is, okay, who are the people who is experiencing problems with deliverance? Who are those people? Do I want to help ministers who need to go through deliverance? Do I want to help nurses who need to go through deliverance? Like, you got to get really super clear on the specific client, okay, that is having that problem, because not everybody is going to be willing to pay you, even if they're having a problem. Does that make sense, y'all? So your job is to figure out, who are the people who are having this problem, who are also willing to pay me for this problem. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's the second question that you need to answer as a consultant. All right? Number 3. All right? I got a client at 1 o'clock. Don't you let me be late, okay? Somebody remind me when 12:55 get here, okay? Number 3, the third question that you need to answer as a new consultant. All right? This is important because this is how you're going to get paid. Okay? Hopefully y'all want to get paid. If you want to get paid as a consultant, put a dollar sign emoji in the comment section. Put a money sign in the comment section. Because if you're trying to do it for free, this ain't the place for you to be. Okay? My job is to help you turn your expertise into a paid consulting offer. So if you want to get paid being a consultant, let me know in the chat. Somebody type money, money, money. Somebody say, yes, I want to get paid. I need to know, okay? What is your expertise actually worth? This is where people get stuck, okay? You need to know how much to charge for your expertise. You need to know how much to charge for your expertise. I don't see no money signs in the comment section. I ain't seen nobody say, yes, I want to get paid. Do y'all not want to get paid to be consultants? I need to know. Okay. All right. This is again where many professionals get stuck. Okay, Shelly, I was like, y'all want to do it for free? Y'all want to get paid? Okay. So most folks don't know how to price their consulting services. Okay. So what people tend to do is just compare themselves to somebody else, or people tend to set their price points based on what they think somebody is willing to pay, or they try to charge by the hour, right? Listen, consulting is about value. I need somebody to type in the chat. Consulting is about value. I'm going to say it one more time. Consulting is about value. If you help someone solve a major problem in their business or in their life, your expertise is worth more than hourly labor. That's the 9-to-5 system that I'm trying to help you get out of. The 9-to-5 system, which is an extension of the plantation, they are going to pay you by the hour. They're going to pay you way less than what you're worth. Okay. One of the biggest problems that consultants have when they're trying to start their business is they come to their business with an employee mindset. Okay. So it's 3 things you got to understand when you're talking about pricing. What is the value of the problem being solved? What are the outcomes being created? And what is your level of expertise? That's right, Shelly. I'm rooting for you, girl. I'm going to say it again. Thank you for sharing, Shelly. What is the value of the problem that you're solving? Even as you start your massage business, don't compare yourself to another massage company. Forget them. What is the value of your service? Somebody type in the chat, the value of my service. Okay. What is the outcome that they're going to experience when they're done with your service? And then what is your level of expertise? That is how you set your price point. Okay. Now I want to introduce y'all to something that me and my team built to make it easier for you all to figure this out. Okay. These are the first 3 things you got to get clear on when you're building your consulting company from scratch. Okay. Because for months, really for years, people in my community have been asking me these exact questions over and over again. They were confused about whether they had a consulting opportunity. They were confused about who their clients should be. And they were very confused about how to determine the pricing. Okay. So my team and I built something to specifically address these questions. Okay. This is not a PDF. This is not a video that you're going to watch. Okay. This is not a course that you're going to take. We built interactive software tools designed to help you get clarity quickly. Somebody say in minutes. Okay. Our team and I, we developed interactive software designed to help you get clarity quickly. All right. It's called the Consulting Marketing Pricing Toolkit. All right. It's a software toolkit, $27, so everybody can afford it. Somebody say $27 in the chat. Okay. Now, inside of this toolkit, it's 3 tools. I want to tell you about them, okay? Because I want you to know what you're about to go get, okay? The first tool is the Consulting Market Idea Generator, okay? So now this first tool analyzes your expertise, and then it identifies consulting opportunities based on real-world problems that people are trying to solve. So this tool is going to generate the consulting idea for you. so that you'll know what you're building. Okay. The second tool is the Ideal Client Profile Builder. Okay. So this tool helps you define exactly who your consultant service is designed to serve. Because guess what? You're not out here in these streets trying to help everybody. One of the biggest mistakes that business owners make is trying to market their services to everybody. Isn't this genius? I'm telling you, this is genius, Shelly. I can't wait for you to see. I know you're going to get it. So proud of it. Okay. You're going to waste months, if not years, trying to sell yourself to everybody. I know who I'm here to help. I'm not here for everybody. Okay. I have taken years to really get clear on the woman that I want to help. I want to help the woman who is resourceful. She's independent. She believes in herself. She's a free thinker. She's deconstructed from a lot of the social constructs and societal norms. She knows that she's gifted. She knows that she's brilliant. She knows that she's a thought leader, and she knows that she's here on this planet to make this planet a better place with her brilliance. And she's willing to invest in herself. She's willing to learn the market. She's willing to learn the marketplace. She's willing to learn the consultant industry. She's willing to learn entrepreneurship. She's willing to learn business because she knows that she can change and transform lives. That is the woman that I want to work with. And if you're not that woman, you're not my client. And so you have to get clear on who it is that you're supposed to be helping. Okay? And so the Ideal Client Profile Builder helps you get that clarity, right? And the third tool that we built is the Consulting Pricing Calculator. Oh my God, y'all, you do not have to try to guess at how to set your prices, okay? It's based on your credentials. It's based on your experience. It's based on how much money you want to make, okay? All right? And so you put all that data in there and it gives you the prices that you should be charging. You tell it how many people you want to work with every month, and it gives you the price point back. Okay. So this system combines your intellectual capital with these structured software tools to collapse confusion and help you get clear on your next step. Okay. And once you get all of that, then you can start building out your actual consulting offer. But you don't need to worry about your consultant offer until you get clear on these three things first. And we built the software tools to help you get that clarity. Okay, so if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, there is a link in our bio, and you can go grab the consultant toolkit today, the consulting and pricing toolkit today, so that you can start seeing for yourself if you have a consulting opportunity, and if not, how to create one, how to build out your ideal client profile so you know exactly who you're speaking to, and then what your pricing needs to be. Once you get those things, you know what's going to happen? It's going to give you so much confidence. It's going to give you so much clarity. It's going to give you so much energy that you're going to be ready to take the next step. And inside of the toolkit, I give you an opportunity to take that next step with me if you want to. Right? There's a way for you to work with me on the next tier if you want to, but I want you to start here at this point first. So, because this is what's going to give you the clarity and the confidence that you need to start building your consulting company. So if this is something that you feel like, yes, I want to do this, go ahead and grab the link in my bio and get the consulting and pricing toolkit. It has these interactive software tools to help you get the data quickly. Okay. This is going to save you months of trying to figure this out on your own. So thank you in advance for those of you who are going to invest in this. I love you. I appreciate you. I got to get ready for my 1 o'clock client. But I might come back live again tonight. I'm so excited about this platform. I'm so excited about this new channel that I'm building here on TikTok. We're almost 3,000 strong. Yay, us. Yay, us. I'm going to be at 20,000 by the end of the year. I just know it. Okay. Y'all share this platform with other people. Thank you so much for the engagement today. Thank you for spending your time with me. I love you all so much. I'm excited about what you're building. I want you to go and be a powerful Black woman. Go make the money that you deserve. Go live the life that you deserve, okay? Grace and peace and blessings, love and light. Namaste. I'll talk to you maybe later tonight. If not, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. You're welcome, Shelly. Love you. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.